Hello. In this video I will show you how to make a 4-way queen mating nuke. Some beekeepers call this a queen castle. It consists of 4 different sections with dividers, 2 combs apiece with a separate entrance, allowing you to mate 4 queens in one deep box. It can be easily made from materials at hand, including exterior grade 3/4 inch plywood. Each section is separated by a divider. There are cover boards for each section, 2 frames with a removable divider. That way, if you want to later use it as a 5-frame nucleus, 1 on each side, you sure can do that. I find that they're very useful for overwintering. In this, I chose to use a thicker divider board, again, because I won't just use this as a 4-way mating nuke for queens, but I will use this as a side-by-side 5-frame nuke for overwintering nukes. So to make a 4-way queen mating nuke, or side-by-side 5-frame overwintering nucleus, you need the following materials. Out of 3/4 inch exterior grade plywood, we cut the following. The ends, of which we need 2 of them, measure 16 1/4 by 10 1/4 inches. The sides measure 10 1/4 inches by 19 1/8 inches. We also need 2 of them. The handholds, which are on each end, I like to make out of 1 by 2. You need 2 of them, and they measure 16 1/4 inches long. For the dividers, we'll need 3 of them. They will measure 11 by 19 inches. 11 inches by 19 inches. You can use thin paneling, Luan board, or even 3/8 inch plywood. You can make them all the same type of material, or like me, I use the 2 side ones to be thinner with the middle one a little thicker, primarily because I will use this also as an overwintering side-by-side nucleus in the winter, and then in the summer I will use it as a 4-way queen mating nuke. It's your choice. For the divider, to keep the dividers separate and also for a place to rest your frames, I use 3/8 inch plywood, and I cut the sections to be about 9 1/2 inches by 3 1/2 inches. You may have to vary that depending on how thick the dividers are that you use. These are basically nailed to the inside of the queen mating nuke so that there will be a place for the frames to rest on with a little gap in between each for the divider boards. Finally, you will need to cut pieces to cover the top of each divided section. They'll be about 20 1/2 inches long. The narrower inside covers will be about 3 1/2 inches wide, and the wider outside will be about 4 1/4 inches wide. You'll probably have to fit to measure. Your measurements may not be exactly the same as I did, depending on how wide your dividers are, for example, but roughly 3 1/2 inches wide for the inside section covers, and 4 1/4 inches wide for the outside section covers. Here's a photo of the covers for each section in place. As you can see, the outer covers are slightly wider than the inner covers. Some beekeepers like to cut a hole in each of these, big enough for the lid of a jar to fit within so that they can feed sugar syrup if needed. When you're not doing that, you put a telescoping cover over the entire queen nuke. Other supplies include number 6 1 5/8 wood screws to screw the ends and sides together, 4D box nails for nailing the handhold onto each end, and then 3/4 roofing tacks, or you could use 3/4 wood screws to put in the 3/8 internal dividers. The ends are screwed together using the 1 5/8 wood screws. The handles are nailed on each end using the 4D nails. I usually like to put it about 2/3 of the way up. The frame rests, as well as the divider to keep the dividers separate, are nailed in place using 3/4 inch roofing nails. You could use 3/4 inch screws if you would like. It's very important that your dividers be easily removable, and it's also important that the frames fit correctly with enough B space on all sides. You want the frames to be easily movable, and you want there to be enough space for the bees to be able to get around all sides of the comb. You also want all parts to be tightly fitting, so that no bees can go from one section to another. After your mating nuke is screwed and nailed together, it's time to paint the exterior surfaces. Some beekeepers prefer light colors, such as white. In hot climates, that makes sense. A small colony may have difficulty keeping the inside temperatures cool in the summer. I like to use my nuke for overwintering, which is why I prefer a darker color. And then after you're done painting your 4-way queen mating nucleus, you drill a hole. And I usually like to have one of these small disc entrances that can be closed or open. You drill a hole for each section, but then if you want to use it only as a 5-frame nucleus on each side, you can close up one of them and just leave one of the entrances open. I usually use 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch drill bit. You do not want to make it too large, or the bees will have difficulty defending against robbers. We didn't talk about bottoms. You can nail on a permanent bottom out of 3/4 or 3/8 inch plywood if you are only going to use it as a mating nuke. Myself, I like to leave no bottoms and instead have them removable and use a double screen. I cut little notches in there for each of the dividers to fit. If you use a double screen, you can actually put it on top of a full-strength hive for both overwintering side by side, or even in the early spring for your 2-frame nukes. So there you have it, how to build a 4-way queen mating nucleus with removable dividers out of a 4x8 sheet of 3/4 inch exterior grade plywood. You may also use it as a side-by-side 5-frame nucleus if you like, by simply removing the dividers on each side and adding another frame. This is Tom Repass of Canyon Rim Honeybees in western South Dakota. Thanks for watching. If you'd like more information, including instructional videos about beekeeping, please go to www.canyonrimhoneybees.com.